Darkside Phil here with a special vlog. The reason I'm making this vlog is a follow-up to an announcement that I made last week in my weekend preview video. That, quite honestly, I wasn't planning on making this announcement. It wasn't good news, okay? A lot of people were confused. A lot of people wanted elaboration. A lot of people were supportive, which is great. But what I want to do is make a video just on this subject while I have a few minutes tonight, so that it's out there, so that the word will now be spread formally in a video that's not the weekend preview or something else. It's a video all into itself about what's going on right now with myself and my business. I do have some good news in regards to some stuff going on right now. And I want to give you periodic updates on what's going on, because as you know, I've been on YouTube for 8 years. And I've been doing this as a job since late 2010, early 2011. It's arguable because really I wasn't signed with Machinima as a partner channel or anything like that until early 2011.
And so there's an 8-year legacy on YouTube.
And by the way, more videos than probably anyone has uploaded to YouTube, besides maybe someone who uploads 5-second clips and spams them like a crazy moron. More significant videos, more videos with actual content. I'm probably the most prolific YouTuber on the entire internet. Even though there's other people that have been around as long as me, no one's put out as much hourly long content as I have in the past 8 years. So I've shared my life with you guys and gals for 8 freaking years, okay? And let me tell you, there were a lot of sacrifices along the way. My lifestyle completely changed when I started doing this as a job. I didn't have a lot of free time anymore to go do stuff with friends and things like that. You know, and I think that actually kind of led to the falling apart of a lot of friendships and stuff that I had. Not just people who've been on camera with me, but other people as well. Friendships that I had back home and stuff that just kind of dwindled and fell apart as I made YouTube kind of my living. Because I needed to sacrifice a lot, you know, putting in so many hours of gaming and covering all the new releases, and even to this day, I still don't think people realize how little of any kind of a social life or anything I really have, because YouTube is my job, and this is me and me alone. There's no other person helping me with this. There's no one else who I hire to do video editing. There's no one who uploads this stuff for me. There's no one who monitors my social media. I'm not a team of people like a lot of these other successful gaming YouTube channels, right, that are popping up daily now, and they're all becoming super popular. It's a team of guys, young guys, who are all working together, right? I don't have that. I've always been me, myself, and I. Okay, and even today, you know, I wake up, I usually, you know, either shower or whatever I need to do in the morning to refresh myself, maybe have a drink or a bite to eat, jump right into work, streaming and working for 3 to 4 hours straight, well, not really taking a break, but then setting up all the uploads and everything, which takes a while, then taking a break to have dinner and do chores around the house within a 1 to 2 hour time frame, so I could rush back to either work on an edited video or work on more streaming and more gameplay for another, you know, 2 to 3 hours, if not longer than that. The edited videos usually take around 4 hours minimum. And then monitoring stuff all night as stuff uploads and playlist management and stuff like that. I really don't have a lot of free time to myself, maybe an hour or two a day where I actually just sit down with my girlfriend and maybe we watch TV or talk or do whatever, you know. Everything else is the business, and it always has been like that. And it's funny because people say, oh, Phil does not do all this stuff that other YouTubers do. Yeah, because I can't, because I'm one man. I don't have a team of people working for me. I never made enough money to hire anyone to work for me, to make my stuff big and popular like these other big guys did, right? All the people with high production values, these giant comedy skits, these highly edited videos with scripted comedy over stuff. I can't do that. I couldn't do that. It's not possible, because I'm one man, okay? So all that being said, I made an announcement last week that unfortunately my business is not in a good position right now, okay? What happened was, as you know, last year, I was actually in a good position. It looked like I had kind of plateaued. I was right here all of last year, 2015, and all of a sudden, false copyright strikes hit my channels. Not just DSP Gaming, but also this channel, the King of Hate Vlogs, forcing me to remove pretty much every pre-stream video ever, because they found a loophole in YouTube system where they could flag artwork, which is bullshit. I had legal permission to use any artwork that was ever used in any of my videos, but they abused the system and filed false copyright claims against me, and YouTube basically is not like the American court system where you're innocent until proven guilty. Instead, they just, you're guilty until you prove that you're innocent, which is ridiculous. So in order to protect my business, I had to delete every pre-stream video I'd ever done up to that point that used fan art, resulting in the millions of views dropping off of my channels, and my channels, literally overnight, last summer, being removed from the YouTube search system. So when you went to search for a new playthrough or a new thing, it wouldn't come up. I would not come up. Or if I came up, I would be on, like, instead of being page 2 or 3, or maybe even page 1 like I used to be, because I'm an 8-year YouTuber, now I'm on page 32. So no one will ever see my videos in YouTube search. And my business went from plateauing to being pretty good and being able to pay my bills to into the toilet. Earlier this year, things were great. My viewership was up. My KO Gaming viewership was up. DSP Gaming was about the same or even up a little bit, okay? The King of Hate Vlogs viewership was up. And then for whatever reason this summer, I don't know what happened, things dropped off. And there's really no logical explanation for it, because the bottom line is, if you actually look at all of my YouTube analytics and data behind the scenes of YouTube, alright? YouTube is telling me that people are watching my videos for longer than ever, meaning instead of watching a video, for example, 5 minutes, they're watching for 8 minutes. That's great news, right? That means more engagement, more advertisements are playing, more potential to make money. More people are liking my videos. More people are sharing my videos. Overall, you know, all the statistics that YouTube tracks to say your channel is healthy and growing and good, everything's up, according to YouTube. But YouTube is saying my views are either stagnant or down, and my profit is down. I'm making less money. And I'm sitting here like, what the hell? How could that be possible? How could it be that I had this big, you know, positivity going on earlier this year in the spring, and then as soon as the summer hit, things slowed down, and now it's gone permanently, and, you know, I'm playing all these new games now for the hardcore gaming season, which typically at the end of the year, when this time of year starts, I see a skyrocket in views, because people who normally wouldn't even watch my stuff start coming out to watch the new games. They want to see what these new games are, because they know the holidays are coming up. Which one do I want for Christmas? Or I only have this amount of money now, and a lot of people are calling this Broketober, right? The month where so many new games have come out, there's no way you could possibly afford them all. Which ones do you want to buy? Well, you gotta watch someone play it first to find out. So typically I get this influx, and I'm getting none of that this year. My views are like this. And it's like, I don't know why. The only thing I can hypothesize, quite simply, is that YouTube fucked me still. In fact, if you look at my history this year, okay, almost none of my playthroughs that I did this year got any kind of search attention on YouTube. And you can actually tell because you can look at where your views come from in the YouTube analytics. And it used to be, I'm not even kidding, about 1/3, if not more, of my views would come from YouTube search. People searching for a game, I would pop up and they would click on it and watch the video. I don't get any of that anymore. It's down to, I think, 2%. It's that small. Everything is people who already watch the channel, people who are, you know, who already know my content and they frequent it. None of that YouTube search is even a factor anymore in my YouTube analytics. So I think that's what's going on, is that at this point, I'm really getting screwed over because of what happened last year, and there's no way for me to fix that. You know what I mean? Now, here's the thing. I want to keep doing what I'm doing. I've been doing this for 8 years. But I want to keep doing what I'm doing. I don't want to change everything that I've done on YouTube in 8 years and completely change my personality and completely change my style of video to be what the popular guys do in order to make money. Because ultimately, even though this is my business, okay, and even though this is how I make my living, alright, I'm also doing this because I'm enjoying what I'm doing and because I feel that there's some good behind it, alright? I really do feel that by playing these games, video games like I do, raw, and putting out raw, unedited playthroughs from start to finish of a game, that it gives people an experience of exactly what that game is about. If you need a walkthrough of the game, you can see how I got through it. And by the way, I'm one of the worst gamers out there in a lot of cases. So if I can get through it, you can get through it. And you can see how I flubbed through it, right? And I really do think it's more beneficial than these people who literally the only reason they make videos is entertainment. They want you to get a laugh or they want you to get a rise. Or drama, whatever, right? So there really is no quality gameplay or quality information in these videos. It's a guy sitting there playing a game, making faces at a face cam, overreacting to stuff that's not scary, basically making a series like Five Nights at Freddy's, one of the worst fucking game series ever made, a multi-million, if not billion-dollar profitable gem of a series, because these idiots yelled at a face cam like a fucking Muppet, and people are so dumb that they believed that it was scary, and they went and bought the games themselves because they're dumb as fucking dirt. That's not what I want to become. Now, on the flip side of that, I also don't want to become a shill. I don't want to become someone who constantly has to advertise in my videos, on my streams, that my gameplay becomes more about fundraising than the actual playing of the game. Which a lot of people who say I should just become a full-time streamer on Twitch, they say that's what I should do. Okay, but the only way to make money on Twitch is to constantly be getting subs and asking for donations and plugging products. So you'd have to hear that. I'd have to be like one of those streamers where I'm playing, oh, thanks to this person who just donated money. All right, now back to the game. It's so distracting. It has nothing to do with the fucking video. Has nothing to do with the game. It has nowhere belonging in a fucking stream or a video anywhere. But that's how these people make money. Those streams on Twitch, where those professional streamers, those are more about social interaction with the person on the other end of the stream than the actual game. It doesn't matter what game they're playing. They could be sitting there fucking playing Pong, right? The original video game ever, Pong. They could be sitting there fucking taking a shit. And as long as they're talking to stream chat and saying thank you every time someone sends them money, they'd still fucking make money. That's not what I want to do. I want to put out quality content that I feel is worth making and that I have fun making. Okay? Because the bottom line is, if every time I play a game, now I have to sit down and edit it for a fucking week before I can even start releasing videos to you, that's not fun. That's the whole point of YouTube, is you're supposed to share your personality and your experiences and your talents with the world and have fun doing it and then make money. Not it becomes a 9-to-5 fucking job where you punch a fucking clock. Oh, I played a game and I faked like I was having fun. Now time to edit this for a week and release it 2 parts a day. Oh, look, I have 1 million subscribers on YouTube now.
Because people are fucking stupid as shit.
And really, that's what it's become. There's so many people who just emulate everyone else or copy everyone else at this point because that's the successful formula on YouTube. And so many people come to me and say, why don't you do it? And I say, I was out before, I did this before any of those people existed. And I still do it my way, because I think it's the better way, but you're not getting millions of views, and you're not getting millions of subs. And then they even tell me I do it wrong. I'm doing it wrong, because I'm doing it the way I did it before all of this bullshit. This scripted, fake, nonsense, high production value, teams of people putting out videos bullshit. No, I'm not doing it wrong. I'm doing it right. I'm doing it the way that I care about it. Where if you actually care about the game and you want to have that genuine experience, that's what I'm sharing with you. Not this highly over bullshit video, which is fake as fuck. If you want to watch fake as fuck, go watch television. Go watch fucking, anything that's out there already that's highly produced and is incredibly fake. You know what I mean? Go watch fucking reality, because that's really what it is. It's reality TV. Everyone wants reality TV now. The lowest common denominator. People with 2 fucking brain cells in their brain. I gotta watch reality TV, right? And that's what it's all about. Reality fucking TV. Not someone actually playing a game and enjoying it, but I have to now over-dramatize everything going on for entertainment purposes. No! I don't want to become that. I don't want to be the shill. I don't want to be the clown, the Muppet that dances on camera. I don't want to be any of this. Yeah, every once in a while it's okay to do those things. But that's not what I want to become the embodiment of on YouTube to make money and keep doing this as a living, right? So I'm worried because right now my views are the same or even going down a little bit. My profit apparently is going down, which I don't understand. And I'm supposed to be having the most busy time of the year. It makes no fucking sense what's going on right now. All of YouTube's metrics are telling me everything's positive. Everything's good and better and positive, yet I'm making less money. How is that fucking possible?
I need help. Right now, I need, first of all, people who are watching my stuff to spread it via word of mouth so that I can keep paying my fucking bills and keep my house and not have it repossessed and shit. I need help. Number 2, Patreon. Because the bottom line is, if you already watch my stuff, you already spread the word about my stuff, and YouTube is saying that everyone who watches my stuff is liking it according to all their metrics, right? The only other thing you could do to help me is Patreon. Pledge money.
To get perks, get stuff back, but also to help me. Because if the bottom line is, if a small amount of my viewership were patrons, if 10% of the people who watch me every single month, I get around 2 million views still on DSP Gaming a month, and that's not counting views here on the King of Hate Vlogs or over on KO Gaming or anything like that. That's just the channel alone. It's over 2 million views usually a month, alright? If 10% of 2 million, 10% gave $1 a month, I would never have to worry about YouTube again. I wouldn't have to worry about views. I wouldn't have to worry about advertisements. If that was a consistent pledge that I got on Patreon, you would never have to hear me make a video like this, and I never have to say I'm in dire straits and I don't even know if I can do this business long term anymore. But that's the truth of the matter, is that people don't realize that. And I don't actually talk about Patreon outside of things like my pre-streams or whatever, because I don't advertise. I don't. My only advertisement is on pre-stream every day. That's it. I don't make videos about it. I barely ever post up on Twitter an advertisement. Almost nothing. So, because of that, because I'm all about the games and the gameplay and busting my ass making gameplay videos for you, I don't make a lot of money. I'm not like these other fucking people, right? And I'm not using all the tricks of the trade to get high views on YouTube so I can get tons of sponsorship and free games out of the ass like everyone else. There's gamers on YouTube that have not paid for a fucking video game in years. I'm gonna say that again. There's gaming YouTubers who have not even bought a fucking game for years. They get everything for free, or they get paid to play the fucking games. Not one video they put out is legitimate, because it's all paid sponsorships.
And that's what people think is good. How? Are you a fucking idiot? You're just watching constant advertisements for free, by the way. You're a moron. You're wasting your time watching these advertisements for free on YouTube, and you think that they're entertaining because, I don't know, maybe you're simpleton. Who else would like this fucking shit? I don't know. I certainly fucking don't. I watch it. I watch 5-10 seconds of it, and I want to fucking vomit and shit at the same fucking time. I can't take that shit. I can't. And I know I have a viewership that's in the same mind frame as me, or else I wouldn't have been on YouTube for 8 years. There's actually a group of intelligent people out there who want my kind of content. Informative, real, right? Not fucking stage scripted entertainment. You're not watching my streams to be entertained every possible second of the fucking stream or every possible second of the video. You need instant gratification. No, you're more mature than that.
You understand that you can watch the content and, oh, well, this is what the game is. Now I know if I want to go check it out for myself or not. Or I know I wasn't going to get this game, so I'll watch Phil play it, so at least I know what the game's all about. That's what my content has always been about on DSP Gaming. This past week, there was an outpouring of positivity. People were coming out to thank me, to support me, leaving nice comments, suggestions, constructive stuff that really helped out. And what I want to do right now is give you an update on how everything's going after this 1 week of this being known, that my business was not doing well, and I was in jeopardy of not even being able to do this as a job anymore. And I also want to give you some responses to some of the suggestions that people have said about suggested improvements. Because I actually think that some of them were really good. I think some of them were not so good. And I want to explain why, rather than, well, Phil refuses to change because we suggested all these things for him to do, and he didn't do them all. So obviously he's just ignorant, or he's, stubborn. And he doesn't want to listen to all of our suggestions, so therefore it's his fault that he fails on YouTube. No, the bottom line is that a lot of suggestions that I get just aren't viable or feasible. And I'm going to explain a lot of that to you right now why, okay? So first off, let's talk the positive side. On the positive side of things, this week, I did not see an increase in views. No. I did not see an increase in any kind of engagement. But likes are up even more. I think what happened is after watching the weekend preview last week, people said, we gotta start liking Phil's videos because that's gonna help him. Likes are up even more. Engagement's up slightly more from last week when I've last looked. And, get this, my profit is up. Now, if you're wondering why, that could be one of two reasons. It could be because people realized, oh shit, Phil makes money off of the ads on his videos. Let's do him a favor. Let's do him a solid. He's given 8 years of fucking free videos. Let's turn off ad blocker when we watch his videos. Let's make sure that there's videos playing with ads on them when we watch his stuff so that he'll actually make the money that he's supposed to be earning. You know, give him the benefit of the doubt because he's in trouble, and if we don't do this, he's not going to be able to do YouTube anymore. Or it could be that right now is the beginning of the biggest advertisement season of the year. It's traditionally October through December when the ads pick up in ad revenue. You're going to see way more ads, way different ads for products that are holiday or gift-giving themed. You're going to see a lot of game ads, movie ads, things for Christmas-style ads coming up in the next few months on YouTube. And those are the high-paying ads. This is like the prime time to make videos on YouTube right now.
Because right now is the big money-making paying time, okay?
So maybe YouTube flip the switch, and now all the better ads are now being on YouTube this week, and so my ad revenue is going up. It could be that, or it could be both. It could be a factor of both things. So I made a little bit of extra money this week in comparison to what I would usually make. The bottom line is, it looks like this month, because we're near the end of the month. I won't know for about another week, actually, because there's 3 more days left in the month, and then it takes about 3 days for YouTube to process all the data. So really, it's about a week from today. I will actually know how I did in October. It's looking like I'm definitely going to do better than I did in September, but it's certainly not looking like it's going to be anywhere near as good as I need to do or have been doing ever in this kind of time of year. It's only a little bit more than what I used to make, okay? But the other positive thing, two positive things, is that number one, Patreon, I had an outpouring of support this week for people who pledged to my Patreon. And I just want to say this right up front. Thank you to those who watched the weekend preview last week, believed me, and listened. Because the worst thing would happen is no one believed me, no one listened, and then by the end of this year, that's it, and my YouTube career is done, and I'm gone. And 8 years, a legacy gone, just because people didn't believe me, that I was actually in trouble and that I needed your help, alright? People did. And I think, over 50 new people pledged to my Patreon. I think this month, October 2016, is going to be, I'm going to have the most number of pledgees ever on Patreon. And I'm probably going to make the most money ever that I've ever made on Patreon before, since I started in February of 2015. Now, I want to clarify that, because there's some misconceptions. There's all these dumb reporting websites out there that never have correct data. Not once ever have I used any of these reporting websites for YouTube or Patreon or anything where the data was correct. All they do is they take the front-facing number on the front of a fucking webpage, and they think that it's right no matter what. When in reality, all data that's public-facing is subject to context, alright? If you look at a graph of, like, how I've done on Patreon, it looks like I've plummeted. Oh my god, Phil used to make $1,250 or more every single month, and then all of a sudden, you know, he started making less and less and less, and now it's like $1,000 a month. So what happened? He plummeted. Wrong! It's all wrong. The data is completely and utterly wrong. What you're seeing when you go to my Patreon page at patreon.com/darksidephil, that is a front-facing number for the public. Okay? That number has been edited by Patreon 3 fucking times this year. First, they wanted to put in the fact that there are fees that they take out, processing fees, okay? So first it dropped once. Then they went in there and they said, well, now we want to estimate based off of how many false pledgees you get a month. We want to subtract that from the total, okay? So they started doing that because people used to false pledge to my Patreon account hundreds of dollars a month that I never would get. So it would look like I'm making $2,000 a month, but in reality I was still making the $1,250, and they would, you know, they wanted to fix that. So then they kind of fixed that. But then this summer they instituted a new process by which if you pledge to a Patreon, myself, the Patreon page owner, can make it so that when you pledge, it charges you immediately. So that way, there's no trolling. If you're going to pledge, it's going to charge you. You can't false pledge, right? So it eliminated all false pledges. But then Patreon never changed the front-facing number. So it has in there calculated estimated false charges and stuff, but it's wrong because now there's no false charges anymore. So really what you see on the Patreon page, my page, is around $225 less than what I actually have pledged to me at the time. Okay, I just want to make that abundantly clear. That's the truth of the matter. But Patreon, and I've contacted Patreon on it, and they won't fix it. Well, thanks, that is an oversight on our behalf, but we're just, you know, we'd have to recode the whole thing, and we're not going to do that. That's what I was told. They're not going to recode the whole thing just for me. Right now, I'm probably going to make the most ever on Patreon in a month, and the most number of patrons, and it's good. And here's the thing, if we can retain that, if every month the people who pledged right now keep their pledges, alright? Not that they make one large pledge that they go away and they never come back, but if they do $1 a month, ongoing pledge, $5 a month, ongoing pledge, okay?
That's gonna save my ass.
Like, you have no idea. If right now, like I said, 10% of the people who watch my stuff give $1 a month, I would never be talking about this shit ever again. So if you're seeing this video, this is the first you're hearing of this, and you watch my daily live streams and or you watch my daily gameplay videos on DSP Gaming, you love my vlogging here on the King of Hate Vlogs, and you really like what I've been doing over on KO Gaming with the new video style I've been putting out this year, and you want to see me continue to do this, little as $1 a month. It's nothing to you in a lot of cases, and I'll say this, I'm fully aware there are some people, viewers of mine, $1 is a ton of money, okay? For us in the United States, it's nothing. We can't buy a pack of gum, we can't buy any food, you can't even buy an onion at your grocery store for $1 in most cases. It's more than that, okay? So $1 to us is nothing. I understand that's from my frame of reference that I say that. But if a bunch of people pledge $1, it means a lot. It could keep me doing this in the long term. So thank you to those who have pledged. Please, I hope you keep your pledges moving forward, because that's going to support me and allow me to keep doing this. And if you have not pledged yet, get in on it. I'm telling you, this is how I'm going to be able to do this long term, and it'll get me up in the morning energized and positive that people want to see me keep doing this, rather than me every day stressing out about fucking views and who's going to show up and who's going to watch what game. That's why I adopted Patreon last year to begin with. So if I can make enough money doing it, that I don't have that pressure. The problem is, last year the false copyright strikes completely fucked my business, and now I'm not in the position where I'm sitting pretty and Patreon's helping me with that anymore. I just need to pay my fucking bills, okay? Let's address a couple things, because there's been some suggestions this week of things that I could do to improve, all right? Things that I can do to make my business better and or make it more popular and keep doing this on YouTube full time. There's some I want to address and tell you what I think is a good idea and what's a bad idea, and I want to get your feedback if you're a viewer who wasn't involved in that discussion, all right? So first off, some people said, well, Phil, your Patreon in general, the perks. Take a look at the perks that you have on Patreon. Now, a lot of people this week said, well, why don't you have better perks? Like, for example, there's YouTubers out there who for $1 a month or $5 a month, you get early access to all their stuff. They have an exclusive stream they do, or they have an exclusive video series that they put out. Early access is great, and almost all YouTubers who use Patreon do it. Why don't you? I can answer that directly for you, and this is the God's honest truth. When I was setting up my Patreon in early 2015, I wanted to do that, and I immediately heard through the grapevine that the certain group of people, you know, those same fucking people that put copyright strikes against my channel and swat me and do all this nasty shit to me because they're really vile fucking human beings, guess what they said? They publicly said this on social media. If Phil puts anything hidden behind a paywall on Patreon, we will just fucking basically become a Patreon subscriber. We won't reveal who we are, all right? So one person, $1 a month or $5, wow, it's not going to help me that much. It's one person. It's going to basically infiltrate my Patreon. And then they're going to immediately, when all these private things get shown, or let's say, for example, I upload a video early, a video review. You get exclusive access for 2 days if you're a patron. Everyone else has to wait 2 days. So I make it a private or an unlisted video on YouTube, and you can only see it if you have the link. So obviously, I'll send that link out to the patrons. This one inside asshole is going to send that information publicly to the world. All right? They'll either rip the video and post it on their own channel, or they'll get that link, the unlisted link, and just post it publicly on social media, so that everyone who wants to see the video can just watch it anyway, therefore making that perk level completely worthless. This is what I was threatened with when I wanted to set up my fucking Patreon last year.
Tell me what the fuck I've ever done in my life to deserve the shit that I've gotten. Seriously.
Like, everyone else on planet Earth can use Patreon in a nice way, and I have to limit what I do because of these pieces of shit. These human pieces of shit want to ruin me and ruin my life. And this is what I mean. Like, it's awful, the things that they've done to me over the years. And this is one of them. So sadly, no. I'm sorry, everyone. I would like to have a private show. I would love to have advanced access to a review, or maybe my year-end series. You know, you see it 2 days early coming up if you're a patron. Can't do it. Can't do it because of these fucking scumbags, okay? So that's out of the question. That's not a perk I can do. Now, some people said, well, Phil, why don't you just, if you really want a lot of people to pledge $1, why not just make everything for $1, right? Why not make it so that forum access and voting on events and everything is just $1? Because I'll tell you why. It's logistics. Because every month when I get people who pledge $5 or more, I have to sort through this giant fucking file that Patreon sends me. And by the way, it's not sorted either. I have to sort through it. It takes hours of work to get through it and order it per how much every person pledged and what cleared and everything. And then I have to get all their information. I have to message all of them on Patreon, get their email information and their forum information. I then have to file all that out and send it to my webmaster, who then takes that big listing that I gave him and does the upgrades every month. There's no automated system. This is what people don't seem to realize. I'm a one-man show. There's no automated system, right? I'm not a big company. I don't have other people working for me to do the busy work like this. And the bottom line is I work so much. I stream so much. I play so many games and put out so much content that I don't have time to do this stuff. So for me, it's tough to even make it happen now with the 50 or some people who pledge $5 or more a month. Now, imagine if that quadrupled. Imagine if 400 people a month are pledging $1, and now I have to process 400 forum upgrades. I would not have time to work. It would be my month. So that's why things that are going to be time-consuming, like a forum upgrade or premium access to something, has to be something simple or quick, or I can't make it that lower level, or else, you know what I mean? The thing that whatever the dollar level is on Patreon, it has to be something reasonable and feasible that's quick and not time consuming. And that's my challenge right now is I can't find anything. The things that I do, like the text thank you in a video is kind of easy. I could just sort this file that I get from Patreon and put the names into a video, and it doesn't take that long. But anything else, you know what I mean? Like, what else could I possibly do? And there's been other suggestions. You should do private meet and greets in Seattle. That would never work. I get 2 people to do it. You know what I mean? It would never work. Those kind of perks don't work. A lot of other things. Well, for some people, they get to vote in polls or suggest things. I already do that. I already do have that as perks. The $5 perk is what that is. Or if you're talking about daily polls, I do those on Twitter because it takes too long to set up stuff on the forums and then direct patrons to my forums to vote on these things. Wouldn't work. All right? And other people, well, what about Q&A questions and stuff? I already do that. That's what I mean. Like, a lot of the things that other YouTubers do as their Patreon perks, I do for free. I've been doing for free for 8 fucking years. So it's hard for me to say, this is the thing that I could do to make Patreon more attractive to everyone, okay? So what I need from everyone is obviously not only your Patreon support, I need your actual concrete suggestions on something that's not time-consuming, but something that could be interesting that I could do as a Patreon perk that isn't, something that, you know, I need a team of people to do, or I need to spend money. That's the other thing. Phil doesn't do giveaways anymore. If you were a Patreon, you could get into an exclusive giveaway. Well, first of all, that's against Patreon terms of service, but I know people still do it. I have no money, so I can't buy things to give away. You know what I mean? Shipping cost. I used to do the Hardcore Gaming Season giveaway. The last year I did it was 2014. You want to know why? Because that year I moved. I was already in debt up to my eyeballs from moving, and I spent, I'm not exaggerating, over the course of 3 months, over $1,000 shipping games. Just fucking video games. Worldwide, because that's how expensive shipping cost is, okay? So, I can't do it anymore, man. I can't. I don't have anything to give away. I can't afford the shipping. I can't do these giveaways, so that's not a valid perk anymore. I need your suggestions. What the hell could I do as a valid Patreon perk, okay?